Non-stop Vikings talk. It's Purple Daily on Score North and ScoreNorth.com. Purple Daily, presented by Surly Brewing Company.
He loves to tackle. And when he gets to the ball carrier, he's getting there with bad intentions. He has sound, disciplined eyes, and he understands proper angles. And that's the thing about playing defensive back. You don't necessarily got to be the fastest guy, but if you utilize proper angles, that will put you in positions to be successful when it comes to tackling and when it comes to attacking the football. And he does both things well. And he seems to love the football game. He seems to love the game of football. I think he's going to fit in nicely with what you guys already have in the secondary, especially in the back end with Harrison's Hitman Smith.
Wow.
So much football.
Wow.
Is there anything better than going on to the gridiron with intentions that are bad?
Bad intentions.
Is there
Bad
anything better?
intentions.
Like when you wake up on Sunday, the Lord's Day, and you decide, I got bad intentions.
Bad intentions. Yeah. By the way, that was from the All Things Covered podcast. Do you ever, even as a writer in your day, when you step foot on that practice field for like organized team activities, did you ever walk on that practice field with bad intentions? Yeah,
Of course.
I'm gonna slander someone today.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
or would
it's
it be
not.
libel?
How can
Whatever.
I stir the pot?
Yeah, well, that's it.
Yeah.
What Declan said is exactly right. Have I ever stepped foot in a gymnasium, an arena, a football stadium, a ballpark with bad intentions? I'd be lying if I said I hadn't.
Yeah,
I'd be
your bad
lying if I
intentions.
said I hadn't.
You're going to buy 2 hot dogs and crop dust the rest of the people in line.
Oh,
That's
Those
not-
are your
made
bad
it that Target
intentions.
Field last
Yeah.
night at the bar. You know, made it
My-
a thing.
My bad intentions are based on this. You know what? If there's controversy, I'm going to find it. Those are the bad intentions.
Going to uncover the controversy. Yes. Unlike some of today's media, which looks to cover up the controversy, defend the teams. That's not what you get here on Purple Daily. We are Daily Vikings Entertainment. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die. Mackey, Judd, Declan, our executive producer. The show is presented by TCL, one of the world's best-selling consumer electronics brands. They have a new lineup of award-winning TVs delivering the most entertainment with stunning resolution, all at an affordable cost. Enjoy more of the things you love with TCL. I got a random Viking of the week for you guys later. If we have some time, we might bring Fire Extend year to year back. I got some fun little categories for us.
Okay.
But it is Reckless Speculation Thursday on Mackey and Judd today.
Reckless speculation.
And, we don't really have like an official Reckless Speculation day on Purple Daily. It's just sort of a lifestyle that we tend to live. And we bring speculative things to the table when it makes sense, which is frequently. Mm-hmm. I have JC Tretter steam for you guys.
Oh, wow. Ready?
Reckless
Wow.
speculation.
I feel like it deserves its own sponsor because of your allegiance to the steam that comes along with the name JC Tretter.
Okay, put a pin in that. We can maybe we can attach a sponsor to it later on. But I think just to set the table here, this show is for entertainment purposes only. Mostly, it's like 90% entertainment. We should almost put a disclaimer on it, like they do the NFL Network pregame show, or they do the bold predictions or whatever it is, and the Joe Burrow is going to throw for 650 yards today. It's for entertainment purposes only. But every once in a while, listen, we've both been reporters in our background.
It happens.
Judd used to be the lead Vikings beat writer. He was, during free agency, some of his reporting was being featured and aggregated on ProFootballTalk.com and other outlets. Ol Macadac used to be a Twins insider, used to cover the Vikings as well. So, when we want to, we can take our entertainment hat off and put our big capital J journalism hats on. So I just want to set the scene there. Declan?
I can get some scoops.
I
Man,
agree.
got
No,
some
it's-
scoops.
you've got some
Don't leave
scoops.
Declan out. I mean, he's been in bars. He's heard things. He's used those things.
Oh, yeah.
They've been accurate.
Declan, you had a Damian Lillard scoop at one point.
I did.
Remember. Yeah.
I
did.
feel like there might be more.
There might be more to that. But maybe find out on Reckless Speculation Thursday on Mackey
Yeah.
and Judd. Maybe find out more.
So I am told very reliably that JC, and this is, I am reporting this, just to be clear. I'm entering Big J journalism realm for about 15 seconds here, and then we
So
can
you're not really
discuss, okay?
speculating right now, then.
I am reporting what I'm
You're
about to say.
reporting. Yeah, that's
Wow.
okay.
Look at this guy.
I am told reliably by somebody who would know that JC Tretter has a very short list of teams he would play for on his next contract. The Vikings are on that short list. And it's essentially up to the Vikings whether they want to offer him a legitimate contract. The Vikings have $8-ish million in cap space after accounting for their draft picks. JC Tretter was set to make $8 or $9 million on the contract that he was cut from in Cleveland. The top 5 or 6 centers in the NFL all make at least $10 million average annual value. But, Tretter is in his 30s. He's had some injury issues. Probably not going to be one of the 5 highest paid centers in the NFL in short-term deals. So they'd have to figure some things out cap-wise, I think, to make this happen. But I can tell you, and I am reporting on this show, that JC Tretter has a short list of teams that he would play for, and the Vikings are absolutely on that list. Your thoughts?
Okay. Yeah, you know what?
Reckless speculation.
Like, I guess you can't just say bring it on, because part of it's going to depend on what the asking price would be. But that being said, this really intrigues me. I mean, this is a veteran center with a ton of experience who is established. He's not what he probably once was, but that being said, he's certainly an improvement on Garrett Bradbury. He would bring an anchor to a line that needs one.
That's just Marcus Foligno in the background there of Judd's house, by the way.
The wildest scoring goals left and right. Unfortunately, it's in practice right now. It's the morning skate in St. Louis. They just keep scoring goals, but it doesn't matter because Binnington's not in goal right now for the Blues. He's probably sleeping or something. Anyway, yeah, this really intrigues me. Now, I guess I can't say I'm shocked because it, as we've talked about for months now, it makes a ton of sense. But if you are going to report that Tretter has a small list of teams where he's probably like, you know what, these teams can win, I'm a good fit, I don't want to go to a place where, like, he's not at an age where he's going to chance it and be like, I guess that didn't work out so well. Yeah, I mean, if the Vikings are as all in as they say, right? Like, they're like, no, we're in. And we can agree or disagree with that, but they've gone down the path. So, like, that's past the point of no return. If you're going to report that, I'm going to say I think that it would be almost negligent, unless you know something about his knees where it's just like he cannot play. It would be almost negligent not to very seriously explore it. And if you think that Garrett Bradbury, oh no, we're good, I personally think you're crazy. So I love this.
Well, also Kwesi would know, right? Kwesi was in Cleveland.
Yeah.
The last handful of seasons.
Absolutely.
And he would know everything about the condition of. So Tretter has had some knee problems, some ankle problems. Mm-hmm. And I would think that Kwesi would have a strong opinion either way on this. It's not like they'd be shocked by what a physical would show. So just back to your Bradbury point, I went back out of curiosity here just to find, when was the last time the Vikings had adequate production out of the center position? And Pro Football Focus has been ranking for 15 plus years. So it's as bad as you think it's been over the last handful of years. These are the PFF ranks for Viking centers starting last year going back.
Okay.
31st, 28th, 29th. Those are all Bradbury.
Okay. Yep.
Then we move into the Elfline era, which was a couple years. 39th. So Elfline was ranked behind like 6 backup centers that
I was gonna say,
played some snaps for other teams. These are qualified centers who played at least 20% of the team's snaps. And so, and by the way, only 39 qualified that season. So Pat Elfline, before Garrett Bradbury, was the worst center in the NFL. And that's what prompted the Vikings to spend a first-round draft pick on Bradbury. That would have been 21, 29. That would have been 18. And then 2017, with Case Keenum and the Vikings run to the NFC Championship game, Elfline was the starting center, ranked 23rd among all centers. You got to go back to 2016. Joe Berger was the last time the Vikings had a top 10 PFF graded center.
Yep.
So you got to go back 6 seasons. And this is, I think, especially troubling when, Kirk Cousins has a lot of good qualities about him as a quarterback. He's accurate. If everything's clean, he's going to dissect the defense, but he's not a true commander at the line of scrimmage. And he's even said that publicly a few times where, just tell me what the play is. I'm not going to be Peyton Manning up there or Tom Brady, trying to play high-level chess with linebackers and stuff. So if you don't have a quarterback that's a true commander at the line of scrimmage and you have a shaky center who doesn't really know what he's doing, it's just not, it's been a problem ever since Kirk Cousins signed his contract. So why would you not make a move? What are the reasons why they wouldn't make a move on Tretter at this point? It's not like they have a viable backup option right now. They're literally going to spend the summer trying to find a backup center through practice, right? Well, let's try these two guys out. Chris Reed can maybe take some snaps.
Right. And
So,
I think
I don't know.
so. According to what Doogie told us a couple weeks ago, it sounds like Chris Reed is actually now going to compete with Bradbury at center. But I mean, there's zero guarantee there. I mean, Chris Reed it sounds like a very functional inside offensive line guy, but it does not. But we have no idea. I don't believe he's ever started, and I don't know how much he's ever played in a game at the center position in this league. So, yeah, I mean, this to me, if you're going down the path that the Vikings clearly are going down, makes way more sense to explore this, to try this. I also worry. So they think that they can take Kirk from being, statistically really good to being potentially great, and I guess more importantly, to doing what the one thing throughout his career that he has not done, which is actually win football games. Like he wins them, but he's not a quote unquote winning quarterback. And here's what I've never gotten about the Bradbury thing, and here's where I think the hubris of saying, well, we can improve Garrett Bradbury is probably a bit too much for me. One is, I don't think his shortcomings can be improved. Like, he literally gets lifted off the line of scrimmage at times. So, like, I don't know, short of saying, Garrett, we are going to put 80 pounds on you or something, which they can't do. So I don't understand, like, that to me is one of the biggest stretches of will improve you. The other PFF thing is, I think it's with Bradbury been shown that Bradbury, if he has one place where he's halfway decent, it's run blocking, and pass blocking, he's terrible. Well, why would you, when you're trying to get the most out of Kirk Cousins, be like, well, yeah, I mean, a guy can run block, so we think he can pass. If you're wrong, do you know the problems that potentially creates? So it's not that Tretter is going to step in and be what he was in his prime. It's that he's going to provide a stability and a know-how, and he's almost certainly not going to be lifted off the line of scrimmage like Bradbury has been. So I really think the one place where offensively the Vikings coaching staff, including Kevin O'Connell, are over their skis a bit is in this assumption that whatever they've seen on film that they don't like about Bradbury can be changed. I think they have a better chance with Cousins. I'm not saying it's going to work, but I think they have a better chance of actually getting what they desire from Kirk Cousins as far as change goes than Garrett Bradbury.
Yeah, and the weird thing about Bradbury is they just told him, we don't believe in you enough, and we don't think your performance was good enough watching back the last 3 seasons to exercise your fifth-year option. So They don't have a center under contract beyond 2022 anyways at this point. Again, could they develop someone in the offseason? Does Chris Reed turn into a center? Maybe, but these are a bunch of question marks. As of right now, they don't have a long-term option at center. So I could see, let's say you drafted Garrett Bradbury in 2021, and last year was his rookie season, and he was awful as a rookie. But he's a first-round pick, and he still has 3, maybe 4 years left on his deal, and JC Tretter's available. You would say, well, gosh, do we really want to cut bait after 1 year or 2 years on a first-round draft pick? But it's a new regime. It's been 3 years. They already made their decision on the fifth-year option, so there's nothing to preserve here with Bradbury. You're hoping to develop him into a league average, I would say at worst, guy to help lead this offense. Or you can just pluck a guy that's already one of the 5 best centers in the NFL if he fits into your cap. Here's another nugget for you. Pressures allowed last season. So Bradbury missed some time, and Mason Cole started like 3 or 4 games at center.
Yep.
So Mason Cole and Garrett Bradbury combined to allow 46 pressures last season.
Yep.
Which we'll get back to that in a second. But so 46 pressures allowed by the 2 Viking starting centers. JC Tretter allowed 10 all season. 1 sack allowed all season by JC Tretter. And so it's funny when you start to comb through these numbers, it's kind of like umpires in baseball where that's a terrible umpire. Well, he still gets 95% of the calls right, but it's the 5% that are really in question. Sometimes I think we look at the Vikings offensive line and just assume every snap they're getting blown off the line of scrimmage. Well, that's not true either. So Bradbury and Cole combined to be one of the worst center combos in the NFL, and Tretter was one of the best. And the difference was 36 pressures over the course of a season. So basically, it's 2 extra times per game where Kirk gets to feel comfortable in the pocket and make a pass down the field. But that could result in 2 bigger plays. It could result in a 3rd and 8, a first down, a touchdown late in the game to put the game out of reach, right? Like, those margins matter in the NFL.
And that's a huge, huge deal with Kirk, because this is one of, good or bad, we know this about Kirk. If that pressure comes up the gut, Kirk's in trouble. Like, there are, most guys are too. I'm not trying to absolve QBs and say Kirk stinks here, but we know what Kirk can do and can't do. And Kirk tends to panic, and it's difficult for him to operate. So, like, this is not Kirk can really take off. So it's not that, it's not a big deal. No, it is a big deal. This is the one position, and we before today we've discussed this, that it doesn't make sense about why you wouldn't address it. And the fact that, but Bradbury can run, okay, that's fine. But think about where this team, rightfully so, is going. They're going to try to pass the ball a lot, which they absolutely should. Now, I understand that it's going to be a different philosophy in things, but Kirk is still Kirk, and no quarterback likes pressure from basically coming up the gut, because it comes at you immediately. Like, there's no time. It's not like you're coming around the tackles. This to me makes as much sense, given, again, the fact that you say you want to win now and you want to maximize Kirk now. If you're putting a puzzle together offensively, this is where the weakest piece lies.
Yeah, and again, you don't have to trade a first-round pick to make the upgrade. You don't have to borrow from tomorrow to pay today, because you don't have a center under contract beyond 2022.
Yeah.
So unless his knees are just in such bad shape that, because he didn't really practice last year, okay, maybe the offseason, I don't know if there's surgery or what, but there quite frankly hasn't been a lot reported and written about Tretter since he was cut by the Browns. Unless there's an injury-related reason why it wouldn't work out, or if he just didn't see the Vikings as a viable option, which, again, I am reporting that is not the case. He is very much interested in the Vikings. The Vikings are on a short list. So we'll see. See what happens here.
And I also like this because it would allow you to have Bradbury as the backup and kick Chris Reed back to guard. And I actually would like the depth there. Like,
or would they try to offload Bradbury? Would they try and trade him for a 6th-round pick or something?
But then Reed can be the depth chart backup as well. Mm-hmm. What I like is you've got a lot of potential competition at right guard, but we have no idea. It's draft picks. Again, we went into last year saying, Wyatt Dave's going to start for sure at right guard. He's going to start for sure. Guess what? He didn't. They moved a tackle to guard, and it was an absolute disaster. So I prefer that Chris Reed actually compete and possibly win the right guard job. I do think the entire conversation, which to me has become a bit crystallized too, Phil, about the offensive line has to be honed now. I feel like the Kirk stands have turned the offensive line into, look, it's got some problems, but their whole thing is it's a default blame. So it's like, you got to tear the whole house down. The whole offense, they're terrible. I think we need to all agree going into 2022 that the conversation is this. There are definitely question marks, and there's definitely areas where improvement can be worked upon, but your tackles are good. As far as I'm concerned, your left guard, he might not be going to Canton, but I think he's fine. I think Cleveland is fine. And so we can't allow the Kirk stands to steer the conversation after every single sack of, there it goes again, offensive line. Like, the center and right guard to me are question marks, and I'll buy into that. But I think the days of, the whole thing is poison and sucks, I think that's gone, and it's very important to point out that's gone.
And every team in the NFL, even the Rams, have flaws, right? The Rams had some holes on defense. The Rams were as close to a perfect team as you're probably going to find in the NFL. But, like, their quarterback, Matt Stafford, led the NFL in interceptions, and their defense was leaky in some certain spots. But there's no perfect team in the NFL, and when you commit to paying a quarterback 15 or 20% of your salary cap, you're also committing to, hey, man, so it's already hard to build a perfect roster. It's harder when we're paying one player this amount of money. So we're going to need you to overcome some of the shortcomings on the team. So the conversation can't just keep going back to, well, look at that shortcoming. Look at that shortcoming. Well, I mean, there's going to be shortcomings. You need that guy to step up and rise above some of the shortcomings. Now, I will admit, in his defense, the offensive line shortcomings up the middle have been probably too much for almost anyone to overcome at times. But I think the offensive line gets over-exaggerated too, where people think every drop back. It's like, no, that's not necessarily the case. And if you look, especially the second half of last year, Darisaw was pretty damn good. Ezra Cleveland has become a rock-solid league average guard. I mean, this thing is progressing forward on the offensive line. So, anyhow, there you go. There's your insiding for the day.
So it's actual reporting, though. To be clear, Purple
Yes.
Daily is Phil Mackey is reporting
That is
JC
correct.
Tretter has a short list of teams, and the Vikings are on that list. This is
Yes.
not just reckless speculation. Ladies
Don't
and
shoot the messenger if he winds up signing somewhere else. I'm not saying this is a done deal or it's finalized. I'm not even saying I don't think the Vikings have made a viable offer. My guess is Tretter was probably waiting until after the draft to see, okay, I'm 31 years old. I'd love to contend. I don't want to just, I'm sure money matters, but there's probably 4 or 5 teams that, okay, if I can go to this team, we have a chance to actually make the playoffs and make some noise and whatnot. And if one of those teams drafted Tyler Linderbaum, he wants to know that. So he probably wanted to see how the draft shook out. And now I'm guessing sometime in the next few weeks, he'll make his decision.
Macadac,
It would be a
bring it.
blast if it was the Vikings. We'll see.
Jacqueline Macadac brought it.
He did. Look at him.
Reckless
Good job.
speculation.
It's Reckless Speculation Thursday. And you wanted a
What a guy.
sponsor for Reckless Speculation Thursday.
Yeah, who is it?
No better sponsor than Underdog Fantasy.
Oh, God, you're right.
This is the best and easiest way to play fantasy sports, first and foremost, and get a sweat on games. There's 2 main bins of games you can play. There's the drafts, and there's the pick'em games, which you can win up with the pick'em games. You can win up to 20 times your money in one night by picking over or under on your favorite player's stats to win big. So there's a big hockey game tonight. There's some options in there somewhere. On the football side, so there's a lot of casual fans out there. I know you guys are in this category for sure. I am closely getting to this category, which is you don't want to deal with roster decisions every week and making 5 trade offers. Like, the draft is the most fun thing, and then you just kind of want to sweat your team, right?
Right.
So with season-long drafts on Underdog Fantasy, no waivers, trades, or lineup setting. You draft a roster, and they'll take your highest-scoring players each week, and those are your starters. If someone gets hurt, they are just a bench player that week. You don't have to do anything. UnderdogFantasy.com and the Underdog Fantasy app, promo code SCORE, SKOR, if you want to help us out. And if you want to get your sweat on, they will double your first deposit up to $100 in bonus cash.
Let's just say on Tuesday night, Sports Dad was back.
Old Zolgad was back, huh?
Zolgad took the over on Tarasenko's shots.
Oh,
Man,
and
look at you
on
hedging against the wall. I love it.
and on Kaprizov goals. I combined the Russians, and you know what the Russians did? They did right by Sports Dad.
They delivered. I'm
Won some
guessing
money.
you probably also, well, you were working, but tonight you'll probably have a Surly in hand while you watch Game 6, right?
Wait, I'm sorry. What? A
What?
Surly in hand?
More beer?
No.
It's surgically attached.
If things don't go right, let's make it plural. I will have Surly's in hand.
Edward Surly hands.
Edward Surly hands, and he will go right through.
Edward Surly fingers.
Wild vent line, and those will be Furiouses because Surly Furious is the official beer of Sports Dad, and it could be. I hope it's not after the game tonight. Wallowing and drinking away the sorrows of a wild defeat. Hopefully it's a win, but yes, I will definitely have a Surly in hand. And as our friend Dave told us, a new variety pack, I believe, has just come out. So there is a new variety pack for summer on the market. 90 degrees today. Ladies and gentlemen, the only way to go, the only way to combat that is a nice night on the porch with Surly.
Love it. Boys, we are also celebrating one of the great days in America, the NFL schedule release today.
Yes.
You guys are going to do just a little 30-minute or so live show, just unveiling the schedule. We'll make our official picks. We're going to sleep on it and then make our official schedule picks for Friday's show. Because I think we've made a couple picks of mock schedules. Let's marinate on
do
it.
the damn thing.
We'll sleep on it, and then we'll make our official schedule picks on Friday's show.
First of about, what, 4, you think, before we actually kick it off?
For sure, like a pre-training camp.
I do enjoy doing
probably a pre-week 1. So, yeah, 3 or 4 different times.
You want a little rumor I'm seeing on the Twitter sphere, actually, about the Viking schedule and the Packers and how it relates to Green Bay?
On Reckless Speculation Thursday, do I want Reckless Speculation?
Rumor has it, New Year's Day, Vikings at Lambeau Field.
Yeah.
And Week 17.
Is that the game that I had?
Yes. It's Week 17. Didn't you have Packers Week 17, Bears Week 18, right?
Yeah, and it sounds like it's going to be a lot. Oh, you know what? I had it at US Bank Stadium, though. That's the only problem.
Okay. I feel like lately the Vikings are always traveling to Lambeau in December or January. Just
the league probably
freezing their
likes
keisters off.
The league probably likes the potential for snow and cold angle.
Yeah, it's division. It's black and blue.
And we're hearing
divisions
Lions, right?
on the line. Lions in Week 18.
At
yes.
US Bank Stadium.
Oh, wait, no, actually, it's the Bears. So this is, I think I'm seeing where you're getting this here, Dex. So Kyle Cousineau, who is, he runs shadowsoflambeau.com, and he's putting together all the different schedule leagues for the Packers. Mm-hmm. And he has the Packers and Lions playing at Lambeau Field Week 18.
That's how it usually works. And so the Bears are usually here, like almost always in Week 18, or what was previously Week 17.
All right.
But we definitely did see Lions at Vikings in Week 18 yesterday. I just can't tell. Those things are well done sometimes when they're completely just bogus. So it looks like.
You mean you don't trust the NFL Schedule Leaks Twitter account to be 100% spot on?
LeakySchedule.com.
LeakySchedule.net.
Yeah. Brought to you by.
Okay, let's play. Before we get to Random Viking of the Week here, let's bring back a fun game that we used to sprinkle in, I think, end of last offseason here. Because there's been some conversations on the table this week about the Vikings and Tom Brady and stuff, and I want to get your guys' official on-the-record thoughts with a game we like to call Fire Extend Year to Year. So I'm going to give you 3 options in each of these scenarios, and you have to fire, extend, or go year to year. And you can't just say fire all of them. You have to put one in each category. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So the first one, yesterday we went over those quarterback tiers on usatoday.com.
Yep.
And there was a lot of discussion about Kirk Cousins being in his own tier beneath Dak Prescott, who is in the young and sort of, you can rely on him for the future tier. But then he was above the Derek Carr tier. So fire, extend year to year. Kirk Cousins, Derek Carr, Dak Prescott.
Ooh. Cousins, Carr,
Judd, Big Pen just
writing it down. I just wrote their names down.
There you go. You get 1 point for getting your name right. There we go.
I don't love this at all, but go ahead, Declan.
Oh God.
Yeah.
This is tough. You know what? All right. I extend Derek Carr. Give me Derek Carr. I love Derek Carr. I love his intangibles. Of these 3 guys, I go all in with Derek Carr. He's a leader. I love his demeanor. I will extend Derek Carr. I will go year to year at Dak Prescott. That's no problem, and I'm firing Kirk Cousins. That is probably the surprise of nobody. But I would extend Carr, go year to year with Dak, and I'd fire Kirk Cousins.
These guys are probably... We're probably talking about the 12th, 13th, and 14th ranked quarterbacks here in some order, right? Like Matthew Stafford used to be in this conversation. He's graduated.
Yeah.
Matt Ryan used to be in this conversation until we see him with the Colts and his age. He's probably a little bit below there. But these are the 12th, 13th, 14th, or 11th, 12th, 13th. They're all kind of bunched next to each other.
I like the idea of Dak a lot. As his career progresses, I'm beginning to not be as high on the actual player as I am the idea of the player from a couple years back. So I'll do this. I am going to... Oh, God, this is tough. I'm going to extend Prescott, though. Okay. I think if you got him away from McCarthy, that I'm not a big
Kellen Moore
McCarthy
is gonna thrive. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Not backing off that steam.
So I'm gonna extend Prescott. I'm going to go year to year with Carr and fire Cousins. And I'll preface this by being as fair as I possibly can too. I'm firing Cousins because I see him every week and I know a ton. So, like, if you transplanted me to Vegas, I might fire Carr.
Yeah.
If
Well,
you put me in Dallas,
all these guys have flaws.
Yeah.
So
right? But what I'm saying is, I know where every wart on Cousins' body of work is.
Thank you for adding.
Careful.
Thank you for
Careful.
adding
Please
work
on
at the end
every
of that.
body of work is, okay? I dip in on Carr and Prescott occasionally.
All right, this is uncomfortable.
No, dip in is not uncomfortable. I watch them
whole thing.
occasionally. I don't. No, it's not uncomfortable. Body of work, resume. How is that uncomfortable? Warts on body of works or resumes
I
are
have
not
examined
uncomfortable.
every
I know
square
where-
inch of
I never
Kirk
said-
Cousins' body of work.
Work, exactly right. And I have, and so have you. And so have you. I love how Declan gets like slightly embarrassed still because he's young. But anyway,
'Cause
I'm
he's young.
firing Cousins.
Because I'm young.
I'm
that's
more in
why?
Declan's bed right now, actually.
Yeah.
Right, because you guys are, because the sports dads come in with the analogies and they're great. Anyway.
Oh, God.
Anyway, but that's why I want to be fair to Kirk because I'm firing him because I know probably too much.
Okay, again, all these guys have flaws. I landed on the same order as Judd here. I'm extending Dak Prescott. The money that he makes is ridiculous. Derek Carr probably has the most reasonable contract. It's kind of a year-to-year contract right now.
Right.
It was kind of one of those fake extensions, right? Oh my God, look at the money, but then it's really only like a 1-year contract. Derek Carr, I love him late in games, but he also can implode games by just rifling off bad interceptions. But there's a gravitational pull leadership quality. Listen to his teammates talk about dying on a hill for him. So I'm going year to year with him, and I would say goodbye to Kirk Cousins in this category. One thing that shouldn't be overlooked, we sit here and we make all these excuses for Kirk, right? Or the Kirk Crusaders do. Offensive line, but what if he had a defense? But what if he had this? But this, but this. Okay, Dak Prescott's been the starting quarterback for 6 years in Dallas. And you can't tell me that those are like flawless coaching staffs, and they've had some atrocious defenses, historically bad Dallas defenses. They've had offensive line injuries over the past couple years. They overpaid I wouldn't say aging at this point, but they've overpaid a broken down running back in Zeke, right? They let Amari Cooper go. I mean, they've had... And then Mike McCarthy comes in after they fired, was it Jason Garrett was the first coach? So the infrastructure there has been wonky in Dallas. Yep. And yet, in games in which Dak Prescott starts, through all the chaos, they are 53-32.
Yep.
So I know that a lot of these people, and I'm a spreadsheet guy myself, I love me some Pro Football Focus, but there are intangible qualities about quarterbacks that matter, and Dak Prescott seems to have some of those things. Again, he's not flawless. He definitely has spurts where he's checking down too much and all those things. But why are those flawed Dallas teams 53-32 and Kirk's flawed teams are 500?
The difference in Kirk's defense, and this is not a statistical thing from production, but it is the fact that he plays every game. Like Dak got hurt, and it's not Dak's fault. But
It was one season. Yeah. Dak's played all 16 in the other 5 years.
What did Dak have? COVID last year.
I'm sorry. He missed one game last year. Yes.
But anyway, the one thing I will give Kirk is, for as long as he's been a starting quarterback in this league, it is remarkable that he has not been hurt.
It is. Yep.
He just plays every
skill.
game.
Well, it's all kind of part of the Kirk experience too. It's just like the reason why he's been able to maximize. Let's face it. Not first-round talent, right? Like, at no point has he ever been like a top recruit out of high school. His ability to avoid colossal mistakes or injuries, I think, is at the core of his quarterback ethos. And it's gotten him to this point.
Probably true.
Okay, the next one. I want this one. This one's for Judd mostly, because Declan and I never saw a game in the old place. But as menacing environments for road opponents, I want you to go fire extend year to year. U.S. Bank Stadium, the Metrodome, and the Met. The old Met.
Well, the fire is easy. I'm firing the Metrodome.
Wow. As menacing? Really?
It's just okay. So it's but based on like cold too advantages, or just based on.
However, no, I'm just no.
If it's just menacing, I can't.
That's your show.
I'll go back.
Yeah, for your show.
All right. because it was menacing. I am going to, if we're going by menacing alone, so noise, then yes.
I mean, cold would factor in to be menacing. So,
All right, I'm going to go year to year with Met Stadium. No, I'm not. No, I'm going to go. This is tough. I'm trying to factor in the cold versus the noise versus the piped in noise, which is why I'm struggling with the Metrodome, because they did pipe in a ton of noise there and it actually helped a lot.
Yeah.
And US Bank Stadium gets really loud. Really loud. Actually, you know what? I'm going to surprise you. It just came to me. Clarity just came to Sports Dad. All right. I am going to extend the Metrodome, go year to year with Met Stadium, and I'm going to fire the new place.
Wow.
US
What?
Bank Stadium.
Wow, dude.
And
What?
here's why. Well, here's why. Ladies and here's why. It's too comfortable. It gets loud. But the Metrodome, when you think about it, was grimy. It was uncomfortable for everybody, including the opposing players. The new place has one thing to go on. That's noise. But other than that, it's not really intimidating.
Well, and the fear
Metrodome-
of dead birds falling off the side of the stadium.
That
That's,
I'm
when you're
fine with
walking
that.
in,
That's
that's a
if they
little
could break
intimidating.
through, if they could break
I don't
through
trust
the
birds.
glass
That's fine.
and the glass could hit opposing players, then I would give it a lot more credence. I'm firing US Bank Stadium. I'm going to year with the Met because it got so damn cold and the Vikings had an intimidating presence that they obviously have not had since. And I'm extending the Metrodome.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing.
All right.
That took some thought. That's
I like
important. That, by the way, does qualify as a great question, and people are going to freak when they find out that I just fired the new building.
Thank you. I'm going to save a couple of these then for later because I have a couple more here, but I'd love to get to random Viking of the week here on Purple Daily. And Dex, are we okay for a few minutes? I know Doogie's probably chomping at the bit.
I haven't even seen him yet, so you're fine. Shocking.
Okay. So every single week I pit you guys against each other in a battle to the death to determine who the random Viking of the week is. And this week's edition of Random Viking of the Week is presented by our friends at Livia Weight Control Centers.
That's right, down 40 pounds. And here's the best part, because of my friends at what is one of the great weight control centers, I have kept that weight off, and I want you to join me now with Livia's new Simple Start plan. It's only $59. You receive one-on-one personalized and guided support online or in person. So you can do this virtually. You don't need to be in this state. They can help you from anywhere because their team of dietitians and experts are outstanding. 855-GO-LIVEA, Livia, LIVEA.com. Again, $59. And you will not only take the weight off, but most importantly, this is the toughest part, you will keep it off. Livia, LIVEA.com.
Also, hello to our friends at Federated Mutual Insurance Company. Federated is very passionate about the enrichment of the next generation. And at the heart of that mission and passion is the work that they do for Big Brothers Big Sisters. It's one of the biggest and best mentoring organizations in the country. And you can find out more at bigbrothersbigsisters.org. Or you can become a big brother or big sister if you have that desire yourself. Federated Insurance, standing behind Big Brothers Big Sisters. All right. Here's the first clue here. By the way, I'm going to throw you guys clues. You get up to 3 incorrect guesses each. To this point, Judd has a 24-11 all-time lead on Declan in Random Viking of the Week. The last handful of Random Vikings have been Archie Manning, Jarius Wright, Moeldy Moore, Jim Kleinsasser, Bobby Wade. This Random Viking of the Week was the fourth of 5 children in his family.
Oh, wow.
Of 4 siblings. Yeah. Played college football in the Big 12.
Oh, Big 12, yeah.
And was a 4th-round draft pick. In his NFL career, he played in 44 games. Something interesting here. Well, let me go with this one first. Let's get his high school resume out of the way. Very, very impressive here. In high school, he was a letterman in football, basketball, baseball, tennis, and track, and was a member of the National Honor Society.
Oh, NHS, yeah. They didn't let me in.
What is the National Honor Society? I was on student council, but I not.
It's for a bunch of like academic brainiac nerds, if I
just
remember
get
right.
together and
Yeah.
I love how you call them nerds. These are intelligent.
what do they do in their
children who are
meetings?
Going to
They just-
Harvard.
I don't know. I think they do
don't
like
think they
college
meet-
prep and other
I don't think they
dumb
meet.
things. You know,
I think
I don't
it's,
know.
I think it's more of a status club than it is.
Yeah.
It's a society.
status.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a status thing.
I think you had to have, I'm pretty sure at Central, where I went to high school, I think you had to have like a minimum of like a 3 something to be in the NHS.
And then you were considered. I think,
And I
but
wasn't
you
even.
weren't a slam
I
dunk.
wasn't. I didn't even apply. There was no chance. I was.
See, we were like one of the only high schools in America. I feel like instead of having a 4-point GPA system, we had a 12-point GPA system.
What?
Yeah.
How does that work?
That's just stupid.
So like
Why?
12 is A plus, 11 is A, 10 is A minus,
Buffalo High School.
9 is
What?
B plus. Yeah, Buffalo
Why?
High School.
No wonder why Todd Bauman got into St. Cloud. Good for him.
Did he? I don't think he went to Buffalo High School, did he?
Thought he did, didn't he?
He
No.
coached. He
coaches
coached
there.
Buffalo. High
Coach
School.
there. I don't know if he went there.
I don't think he
I have
went
no
there.
I'll look that
idea.
up while we continue random. Speaking of a random Viking,
I have no.
Okay.
I have no recollection of where he went. I don't really care either.
All right,
Okay,
this
go ahead.
random Viking of the week made both his stand-up comedy and singing debut at Irving Arts Center on October 10th, 2018.
All
His
right.
a cappella performance of "I Will Always Love You," written by Dolly
Ezra
Parton.
Tuolo.
Yeah, I knew it was Ezra something, but I don't know what his name is. That's a great guess, though, Judd.
Incorrect.
There's no way that guy was a tennis star. Like track and field, he could be it, but that guy's huge.
Yeah, that's true.
You can,
But it's a
you
good
can
guess.
be large
So-
and play
So
tennis.
singing in 2018.
Yep, his a cappella performance of "I Will Always Love You," written by Dolly Parton and later recorded by Whitney Houston, was captured on film by the Irving Community Television Network.
All right.
This random Viking of the week, I would consider a friend of the show. His NFL coaches included Tom Coughlin, Marty Schottenheimer, Gary Kubiak, Brad Childress, Nick Saban, and Dave Wanstead.
Wait.
This random Viking of the week was given empty promises.
Probably a good Judd clue. Oh god.
Empty promises.
Kubiak, Childress, Coughlin.
Yeah, hold on a second. Go back through those coaches again.
Okay.
Kubiak,
Coughlin,
Childress,
Schottenheimer, Kubiak, Childress,
Sage Rosenfeld.
Saban,
Ah, dang it.
Wanstead,
Sage.
Sage
He
Rosenfeld.
can sing.
I guess. I don't know. He's a talented guy.
Empty promises. Was
Dex, you're kind of struggling, man. It's been a minute. It's been a minute for Dex, but Judd Zolgad with the correct answer, Sage Rosenfeld. That is a tough song for even great singers to tackle.
I just knocked it out of the park right there.
Hold on, if we Google this, Sage Rosenfeld's "I Will Always Love You." Is this on YouTube somewhere? Oh, there's no way. I don't think so. Oh man, well, if it's out there, we'll find it though.
You gotta text him and see if we can get it.
I'm sure he'll gladly
dig it up for ya.
deliver that
Well, if he
video.
did it on, if he did it and it was telecast, he
Block
should.
my number forever. All right,
By the way,
boys.
Todd Bauman from Ruffin, Minnesota. I've never heard. It's in the southwestern part of the state, and went to
Ruffin?
Russell Tyler Ruffin High School.
Ruthin.
It's 3 names.
No, I thought it was
What?
Russell Tyler. I thought it was RT. I thought it was Russell Tyler Ruthin.
Ruthin.
Not Ruffin. Yes.
Ruthin.
Yes.
Ruthin.
Yes.
Ruthin.
Yeah.
Qualified for
So it's
RTR.
Ruthin,
Ruthin.
or is it Ruthin?
Ruthin.
Russell Tyler Ruthin.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure before we say goodbye that we have that cleared up
Okay.
for the
Ruthin.
audience.
Oh, because
Thank you.
Yeah, because ton of people are gonna care.
Yeah. All right. That's a wrap. Tomorrow, well, tonight, you guys will be doing a live special
Oh yeah.
and unveiling the Viking schedule. And then tomorrow, we will make our first official Vikings. Anything we've done to this point has just been warm-ups, okay? So we'll make our first official Viking schedule pick
Calisthenics
tomorrow.
schedule.
Ruthin? Ruthin? I don't know.
Say goodbye.